This video will show you how to replace the alternator on a GMC Sierra 2500 HD with a 6-liter engine. This will be located in the front of your engine. Let's get into it. A quick note about doing this job, you're going to need a serpentine belt tool. It will be good to have one that you can set at a specific angle. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Make sure your engine's cool to the touch. We're going to be working along the front of the engine here. We obviously want to be careful around the fan. As you make your way down along the front of the engine, we can see the serpentine belt. We have to remove that by making our way to the serpentine belt tensioner. Go ahead and take a quick note of your serpentine belt routing. Now for this, I'm going to be using my serpentine belt tool. You can use a 15mm adapter or a wrench as necessary. We're on the serpentine belt tensioner, and now I'm pivoting this clockwise. This is releasing tension from my serpentine belt. While I hold this down, I'm being extremely careful for any pinch points as I remove the serpentine belt. You can dislodge this from anywhere. I like to go from along the top of the alternator. Let's go ahead and release tension in this area. Let's get the tool off of here. We can fully remove that serpentine belt. Now for the belt, typically I like to fully remove it so I can thoroughly inspect it. There it is, friend. A quick inspection of your belt and we'll set it aside. The next thing we're going to do is remove our upper engine cover. This is going to be fairly simple overall. Take hold of the front side, lift it up, and then pull it straight out and away from the engine. Just a quick inspection of that cover, we'll set it aside. Now that exposes the back side of the alternator. We can see our wiring harnesses. Before you start disconnecting any of this, let's make our way over to the negative battery terminal on the passenger side of the vehicle. Now as we make our way over to the battery, the area with the red cover and the red wires is the positive. We need to make our way underneath this area. This is where we can see the negative battery terminal. We can gain access to it from up along the top here. We're going to use a 10mm with a short extension. We should be able to make our way in. We're going to turn this just enough that we can remove the terminal end from the battery. There we are. We'll disconnect that so it's making no contact. Let's make our way back over to the alternator next. At the alternator, we can start disconnecting our electrical harnesses. You can start with whichever one you like. I'm going to go with a small black connector here. It has a locking tab along the back side. I'm squeezing this in. Generally, you should be able to lift it up and out of place. There we are. A quick inspection for corrosion. This looks good. We'll set it aside. Now, if we were looking at the larger power wire, this is the red wire, it has a black cap leading to the back side of the alternator. We'll try to pull that out of place. Underneath that, we can see that we do have a 10mm mounting nut holding our wiring harness in place. Let's go ahead and remove that next. A quick inspection of that, we'll set it aside for recycling. Take hold of the wiring harness and pull it away from the backside of the alternator. Now we will be cleaning this, but for now, let's go ahead and set it aside. Now it's time for each of our two 15mm headed mounting bolts holding the alternator to the bracket. We can see one out in the open. The other one's just over here on the other side of the alternator. Now, as we attempt to remove this next mounting bolt, you're going to find that the bolt will have to come out into the fan shroud. We have the hardware out of position. Now you're going to find the alternator still does not move. it has bushings holding it in place. We're going to gently pry this out of place, being extremely careful not to cause any damage. There it is, friend. Looking down along where the bracket is, where we had our alternator and their bolts, we can see the two bushings. There's one here and one right there. Add some lubricant, and then we're going to use a small hammer and tap these outward towards the front of the engine. Now I have my small hammer. Once you have them driven forward, clean up your mess in the area. After cleaning that area, let's also pay attention to our alternator power wire next. We're going to clean both sides of that. We can continue on with that fine sandpaper as necessary. Clean it up as well as you deem fit. You also want to make sure you clean and inspect your mounting bolts. Now we can install our alternator. We're going to carefully bring this down into the alternator bracket. This should rest down in place fairly easily. We've already pushed through our bushings. The alternator does move around. After you have it rested in place, we'll continue on with our two alternator bolts. They're both the same. You don't have to worry about mixing them up. Once you have those bolts started in by hand, go ahead and snug them up and torque them to 41 foot-pounds. A quick note about tightening these: when you go to tighten them up, you'll find that the bolt flange hits up against the bushing. The bushing will push through the bracket and hit up against the alternator. Now I can see I'm driving my bushing in. This is what needs to happen. That one's bottomed out. Let's bottom out the other one as well. After that, we can torque both of them. We're pushing in that bushing. That's bottomed out. Our torque wrench is set to 41 foot-pounds. It's time for our positive power wire here. Go ahead and slide that onto the back of the alternator. We have our mounting nut. Once you have that mounting nut bottomed out, torque it to 80 inch-pounds. After torquing, make sure you protect the area with its protective cover. Continue on to your electrical connector next. For this, we're going to align our locking tab. That should face towards the rear. Slide it down, listen for a click. After an audible click, we'll just make sure that's secured in place. Now it's time to reinstall the engine cover. When we go to bring this in place, if you were looking along the top of the engine, you're going to find that you have two alignment studs. If you are looking at the cover, it's going to have 2 rubber grommets for those to slide into. Also along the back side of the cover, you have a couple tabs, and if you are looking at the plastic intake all the way along the back, you can see those 2 rounded hooks. Let's go ahead and get this in place. It's time to reconnect the negative battery terminal. We're carefully reaching into this area. We can press that terminal end down onto the battery itself. We're using our 10 millimeter to tighten our mounting nut. Double check to make sure that's secured in place. Prior to installation of your brand new belt, you need to clean and inspect all pulleys along the front of your engine. Now it's time to install our serpentine belt. Now, when I bring my serpentine belt into the engine compartment, I'm going along the passenger side of my fan pulley first. This is also the water pump pulley. I'm going all the way down to the bottom, to where our crank pulley is. That's the lowest pulley. We need to try to get this around here. Now, you can try to reach from the top like I am. You can also carefully make your way under the front of the vehicle. There's going to be a shield there, but you can make your way around it without removing it typically. Now at this point, we're going to take the backing of the belt and we're going to go around the water pump smooth pulley. After I make my way around that, I'm going around my power steering pump down along the bottom driver's side. And now we can carefully start bringing this up towards the alternator. We're not putting it on the alternator. This is going to be the last pulley. Now let's focus on the other side of the belt. For this, we're going to go straight up from that harmonic balancer or crank pulley up to our tensioner pulley. Let's try to see if I can reach through this side. This is looking good. Now, after you make your way around the top of that tensioner, the smooth side of the belt is going to go underneath our idler pulley. Now we're at the point where we can reinstall our serpentine belt tool, and we're going to put the belt on the alternator. Okay. Now at this point, I want you to have a look up along the top of the alternator here. You can tell that the belt is not properly seated. If you were to start the engine with the belt in this position, you're going to cause damage to the belt and potentially other items. Double check each and every one of the pulleys. Make our adjustment here. Check that tensioner. And then of course the crank all the way down at the bottom. That feels good. We can remove our tool. Adapter off of there. Okay, friend, we finished our installation. The next thing you need to do is make your way into the passenger compartment. You're going to start the vehicle, let it run for 5 seconds, and turn it right back off. After that, make your way back out here. You're going to triple check the belt on each and every one of the pulleys to confirm it's properly installed. Aside from that, you can close the hood and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.